Have you ever felt like this whole AI revolution is just happening without you? Well, if you have, think of this as your official invitation to the party. We're going to lay out a super clear roadmap to take you from just being curious about AI to actually doing it, all within 2025. Let's start your journey from zero to AI hero.
So, what does it actually take to become an AI hero? I mean, it sounds kind of epic, right? In a world that's buzzing with terms like machine learning and neural networks, how do you get from square one to being someone who can actually build and use these incredible tools? Well, that's the big question we're going to tackle today.
The truth is, there's no getting around it. AI is changing everything. How we work, how we create, how we live. And yeah, it can seem a little intimidating, but the best way to look at it, it's an incredible opportunity. So consider this your official call to adventure.
And just like any great quest, you can't just wander in without a map. That's why we're framing this whole thing using a classic idea, the hero's journey. It's a path of growth, of challenges, and ultimately of transformation. And listen, this is not about cramming a bunch of definitions from a textbook. It's about a real shift in how you think and solve problems. It's about going from someone who just uses technology to someone who creates it. The goal here is to help you transform from a student into a real practitioner, from an apprentice into a hero. So let's get right to it. Here is the map itself. This is your guide through what can definitely feel like the wilderness of AI at times. We're pulling back the curtain on the 2025 roadmap, and we've broken it all down into clear, doable stages. We've basically broken the year down into 4 quests. First quarter is all about the foundation. You got to master the absolute basics. No skipping this part. Then in Q2, you start the ascent, where you'll get into the deeper, core concepts of AI. Q3 is the summit, and this is so important. It's where you stop just learning and you start building actual real-world projects. And finally, Q4 is the horizon. That's when you get to specialize in whatever excites you the most and really launch your new path.
Okay, so what trials does our hero have to face? What's this road of trials actually look like? Well, in the world of AI, it all comes down to mastering a few core skills that are the bedrock of, well, everything you're going to build later on.
You can really boil this complex field down to 3 fundamental pillars. First up, pillar 1, you have to learn to speak the language of machines. That just means mastering programming. Then, once you can tell a computer what to do, you need to be able to find the story hidden in the data. That's pillar 2, conquering data analysis. And finally, with those 2 skills under your belt, you can unlock the real magic of AI, teaching the machine to make predictions all on its own. That's pillar 3, commanding machine learning. See how each one builds right on top of the last? It's a natural progression.
Now, to build those pillars, you're going to need the right tools in your toolkit. Your number one go-to is Python. It's the universal language of AI, for sure. Then you'll need to learn some libraries. Think of these like powerful spell books. You've got Pandas and NumPy for getting all your data wrangled and cleaned up. Then there's scikit-learn, which is your first big step into making predictive models. And when you're ready for the really big adventures, you'll pick up one of the giants like TensorFlow or PyTorch for deep learning.
We just threw that term machine learning out there, but what is it really? Well, here's the key thing to get. Normally, you'd write a bunch of really specific rules for a computer, right? Like, if an email has this words, it's spam. With machine learning, you just flip that on its head. You show the computer thousands of examples of what spam looks like and what it doesn't look like, and it figures out the patterns for itself. It's a huge shift from programming logic to programming with data. In this learning thing, it happens in 2 main ways. On the left, you've got supervised learning. The easiest way to think about this is like you're teaching with an answer key. You show the AI a picture of an apple and you tell it, hey, this is an apple. Pretty straightforward. But on the right, you have unsupervised learning. Here, you're more like an explorer. You just give the AI a giant pile of unlabeled data, say a bunch of customer info, and you just ask it, hey, go find some interesting patterns or groups in here. You don't know what it'll find. Okay, so once you've mastered the skills, you've passed the trials, the hero's journey gets to its final and honestly most exciting phase. You return home with this newfound power and you use it to make a difference. This is where you actually start building your legacy. And trust me, the world is more than ready for you. The demand for people with these skills is just exploding. I mean, look at this number. Projections show 1.5 million new jobs in AI and data science are expected by the end of 2025 alone. The opportunity isn't just big, it's absolutely massive. So, how do you prove you've got what it takes? Simple.
Your portfolio. It is so much more than a resume. It's your collection of epic deeds, you know? It's the hard, tangible proof that you can take everything you've learned and actually use it to build things that solve real-world problems.
And this all leads to a really powerful idea. For a long, long time, the future was something that just happened to us. But with AI skills, you're not just a passenger anymore. You literally have the toolkit to become an architect of what comes next.
So there it is. The map is in your hands. The adventure is out there, waiting for you. The only question left is the one that every single hero has to answer for themselves at the very beginning of their quest. Your journey starts right now. What will you build?